Hi everyone, this is Dan Mumm with Huntington & Ellis. I'm going to be speaking to you today about renting versus selling. A lot of our clients have been asking this question, especially in the last 2 months, about whether they should rent or sell their home. And today I'm going to be speaking to you about the pros and cons of both. To start with, what are the pros of selling now? I think a lot of people overlook the fact that our prices are still about 30% higher than they were 2 years ago, as hard as that is to believe. So to put it into real numbers so you can understand, if you bought a home in 2020 for $350,000, right now in today's market, even with everything going on, with the interest rates changing and the sentiment that the market's really collapsing, which it isn't, the closed price for that home now, what you would sell for today, would be about $450,000. Meaning you paid $350 2 years ago, you'd be selling for about $450 today. So there's a big benefit there. Another benefit is that if you've lived in the home for at least 2 of the last 5 years and you sell today, you'd be excluded from capital gains tax, if not all of it, most of it. Of course, you'd have to speak to your CPA about this, but one of the benefits of selling a home that's a primary residence is that you don't pay any tax or capital gains tax on that home in most cases. If you decide to rent that home out, you're going to erase that benefit, and later if you're deciding to sell, you're going to end up paying more capital gains tax. So what about renting? How is this working out as an option? Well, a lot of people are seeing that rents are very high, so it seems very attractive, but there are some risks that are associated with it. One is that prices could continue to come down. A lot of people back in 2008, 2009 who decided to rent for a year because they thought the prices were too low were sadly disappointed. The market took 4 years to hit a bottom. In 2011, 2012, depending on how it's measured, it took 4 years of price decreases before we started to see them start to come back. For them to fully reach the prices that they were at the peak, in some cases it took 15 to 17 years. We still have clients in the last year who are selling their homes who bought in 2006 and 2007 and are selling for the same price that they bought their home for. That's pretty hard to believe, but if you think about that now and renting your property out, you need to ask yourself, are you willing to commit to being a landlord potentially for the next 15 to 16 years? Of course, that was a pretty dramatic change in the market. There's no way to know whether that will happen this time, but you have to think about whether or not you're really fully prepared to be a landlord for that amount of time. The other obvious risk is what happens to the property, maintaining it, what happens if you get a bad tenant, someone who doesn't pay on time. A lot of the sellers now who are deciding to rent are thinking about the fact that next year prices will be better and they'll just simply be able to sell at that time and get a better price. History tells us the last time this happened, it was 4 years before we started to see the prices go back up, and again 15 to 16 years in Vegas before the prices hit the same amount as before. So these are really interesting things for you to think about if you're debating between renting and selling. If you have any questions, please let me know. I own 17 rental properties. I'm very familiar with that side of the business. And we also obviously specialize in selling homes, and I'm happy to discuss both options with you. My phone number is 702-758-6390 if you want to reach out to me directly, and I will talk to you soon.